Trinidad Chambliss had one of the best seasons an Ole Miss quarterback has ever had. After taking over as the starter in Week 3, he averaged 346 yards in total offense per game. That was the best in the SEC, topping Heisman finalist Diego Pavia by 10 yards per game. His 362 passing yards against Georgia was a school record for a major bowl game, and more than any other quarterback threw for in last year's college football playoff. We've never seen a Division II quarterback reach the heights that Chambliss has gone to, but still, he's got a shot at something greater in 2026. To understand what that is, we gotta look at Archie Manning. Yeah, Peyton and Eli's dad doesn't hold any school records anymore, yet he is still considered the greatest Ole Miss quarterback of all time. What is still the most talked about Ole Miss quarterback performance is Archie against Alabama in what was the first nationally televised primetime college football game ever. That is legacy. That is the magic of what happens when talent meets opportunity. And that is what Trinidad Chambliss has in front of him in 2026. On September 19th in Oxford, when Lane Kiffin makes his return wearing his new colors, on October 24th at Doak Walker when he duels Archie's grandson, on November 7th in the rematch with Kirby Smart, Trinidad Chambliss has a shot at leaving a legacy that will last long past his time in Oxford. Can he do it? There's only one way to find out. We're going to the film, and specifically, we're going to Week 7. And we made a YouTube video breaking down this game. It was the first point where Trinidad Chambliss went from just, a nice Division II story, he's a game manager, to like, yo, this dude is a dude. When you watch Trinidad Chambliss, there's no weaknesses to his game. A lot of people are going to have him as the best quarterback in the country heading into the 2026 season. If you've been following along the breakdowns, you know that I think Jaron Kiave Songopolatele is the best quarterback in the country, but Trinidad, he's number 2. And the reason he is because 4 things jump out on film, and the first is his ability to throw the rock on the run. Yes, the mobility plays a role in that, but specifically throwing on the run, he looks like a young Russell Wilson in that department. Here is the deep corner and then a little flood route. Trinidad's going to roll out, and look how effortless he makes this throw. Even though it's a dime on the run into a tight window, this defender's doing a good job. This defender's in the hip pocket the whole time. He's going to run with him, but better throw by Trinidad. They get the completion. And again, this matchup in Norman, Oklahoma, it was rainy, it was grimy. There are multiple big-time throws, which we'll get to probably 3 or 4 in this breakdown. Here we head to the Sugar Bowl. I want you to pay attention to one route. It's the dig route on the top of the screen. He's not going to get there on the initial dig route, and then it becomes recess football where he rolls out he keeps going back towards the sideline. Trinidad's going to fit the ball in there after he rolls out to the right because Georgia's getting pressure to his front side. Even when Trinidad is using his mobility, he always remains a passer, always looking to throw. Right there, he's decided to pull this trigger, and he is going to hit this guy. Does that look open right there? Not to me, but a theme we'll see is Trinidad throwing dudes open. Lane Kiffin trusts him because he's making big-time throws like that. In a big-time scenario in the Sugar Bowl. Here, Kirby Smart's dialing one up. He wins on this corner cap pressure. No one's blocking him. Trinidad's like, oh shit, I got to expand out towards the right. After he rolls out to the right, he comes back to the left, and he's ultimately going to find his running back who's in this scrum somewhere, leaks out. He's able to make a play. The throw isn't anything spectacular, but the confidence in your own mobility to run around in the backfield and come up with this play when you're down 5 in the 4th quarter in the Sugar Bowl, chance to bring your team to the Natty, that is confidence in your own skill set, which it was cool seeing Trinidad evolve throughout the season where he always had the moxie. But it felt like with every month that went by, October to November, November to December, and shoot, they played in January as well. The more he played, the more confident he got. Look out with the whole off season of him being the dude. Here we got one last example, and the reason I love this one is look at his body. He's going to be drifting back because Miami's dialing up a pressure here. This safety's coming. They're not going to block him. Trinidad's going to get flushed out to his right. He's going to hit this little snap route on the sideline. Look at the arm strength needed when your lower body is disoriented. You're drifting back, yet he rips that, makes that throw look easy. That is not an easy completion, but he makes it look that way. The second area that jumps out when you watch Trinidad Chambliss film is how easy and effortless he makes the vertical shots look. They have so much trust in him and his receivers to execute this. Right here, you're on the road in Norman. We've talked about this game. You're up 5 in the 4th quarter, 7 minutes left, an opportunity to put the Sooners away. Right at midfield, and they dial up a slot fade, and look at the dime that Trinidad Chambliss places on his receiver here. It's rainy. You're on the road. This felt like an elimination game, like midway through the season. Actually, that's a full-fledged exaggeration. I'm sorry I said that. But at that point, it was very critical because both those teams were like, what, like 4-5 in the SEC? And it was like, all right, the SEC's going to get 4 in, but maybe not the 5th. You drop a dime on that last play, put the Sooners away, and get a huge road win. Here, it's the same thing, or at least in terms of dialing up a slot fade in a critical moment when you got to have it. Here, it's 3rd and 5, Sugar Bowl versus Georgia, 32 seconds left in the game. I believe this game was like 33-34 at the time. You have to come up with this, and it's on 3rd and 5. It's a classic pet peeve for a lot of you guys at home where you go, oh, 3rd and 5. I don't know why we're calling a go ball. We need a 6 yards. My grandpa used to always say that the logic doesn't make sense because when you have man coverage and the defense is this tight, the winning opportunity is to absolutely punish them with a downfield shot. Yes, I know it's a deeper throw, but it's not that much more difficult because you practice it all the time. And with Stribling getting past him, Trinidad Chambliss dropping into the breadbasket. And you can tell a lot about how good a quarterback is by the way in which his offensive coordinator calls plays in crunch time. Do they get tentative and scared with their play calling? Well, then that offensive coordinator knows, yeah, my quarterback, he's kind of sus. Do they double down on the gas or do they double down, put the pedal to the metal and say, we're coming for your neck? That's what Kevin did with Trinidad, and it paid off right here. You get a huge gain, put your team in a situation to ultimately win this ball game. Here, we're just going to like rip through these because there's tons of them with the Ole Miss offense. You're going one-on-one on the outside, Stribling, vertical, trust that you're going to make a play, on vice versa. The defensive coordinator is banking that you cannot consistently come up with these throw and catches, and that's exactly what they did. You get one here. Here we're going to the Sugar Bowl. Kirby Smart, one-on-one, vertical shot. Trinidad has excellent touch, excellent feel for whether or not it needs to be over the shoulder or a back shoulder throw. I do think he had 2 of the most underrated skill players on his team last year in Kewan Lacey and former Washington State Cougar Deshaun Stribling. Was not surprised. Thought that was a phenomenal pick by the Niners in the 2nd round, by the way. And then here, one last one for good measure. This is honestly a great catch. But again, back shoulder. You can tell that Kiff has immense confidence in Trinidad Chambliss when they call go routes to execute and never let the corner off the hook. Force him to make a play. Hey, real quick, if you watched this far, do me a solid, like the video down below and subscribe to the channel. Don't want to miss any of the videos that we're coming out with football season right around the corner. So we got the ability to throw on the run. We got the elite vertical shot throwing game. And then 3, I struggled kind of titling this section because I was like, it could be a few different things, but here's what I came up with. He is really clean at getting through his progressions. That pops on film. Max, what does that mean? Feels like you just put together a bunch of buzzwords. Here's what I mean. Right here, Ole Miss is going to dial up a full field progression throw. You got a little now route. You got a little vertical route to the left-hand side. You got a little take the middle route by, what's his name? Lee, the slot receiver. And then you got a little spray release curl route. It's going to be 1A here, 1B here, or I guess vice versa, 1A, 1B, then 3 here and 4 here. Look at how quickly he gets to 3 here because he needs to manage this safety. This safety's getting cute. By the way, I think this Oklahoma defense was the best defense in the country at disguising their blitz and pressure packages. We talked about that a lot in the fall. Going against a Brent Venables defense, you better bring your brain if you're a quarterback because he's going to make you process frequently. He's coming down. The reason I'm highlighting that safety is if he waits at all, this is going to be a kill shot on that take the middle route. He doesn't. He quickly, without rushing, gets to his progression, ball out, punishes the defense for trying to get cute. Similar thing here. This time it's against Kirby Smart. You get a little 5-yard out here, a little 5-yard out here. Let me use a different color. Boom, boom. Take the middle route. Got to manage this safety. Even though the safety's hanging over here, if you wait too long, he's coming for a kill shot when they try to get this, take the middle route right here. Trinidad's eyes are going to start working to his right. He works for the works through the 1A progression, then the 1B progression, getting to 3 quickly, but not in a rush, to get the ball of his hands and find a completion. And you guys know my rule. I said this in the JKS breakdown. You know what the sign of a great throw is? When you force the defense to have targeting because they think they can make a play and you're like, nope. I'm fitting the ball in that tight window. Again, really clean getting through his progressions. Here, they got like a fake a 5-yard out route, and then he swivels back in. This receiver here, he's got a circus route, corner, another kind of take the middle route, and then a dig on the top of the screen. Quickly and efficiently, Trinidad's going to go 1A to 1B to 3, and then ultimately hit progression number 4. And when you're sitting on your couch, it doesn't really look like he's going through his 4th progression. It looks like he's on his maybe, 2nd progression with how effortlessly he gets back there. The first 2 were quick. That one was much more patient. Delivers a strike on target, allows his receiver to have some yak. And then the 4th area to bring this all together is anticipation. Trinidad Chambliss is great at anticipatory throws, throwing his receivers open. Again, I love his film against Oklahoma. That is when it was like, all right, we're leveling up. It's no longer a cute story. He's a big-time signal caller. This is a big boy throw. You got a bunch formation, and this point man right here is going to go on a 10-yard corner. Don't see a lot of 10-yard corners into the field against man coverage because this is a long throw when you're sitting on the right hash, especially in the elements, and especially when at the time, you're playing kind of your backup quarterback. But look at on time Trinidad throws this ball before he gets out of his break. If he's late at all, you run out of real estate. But instead, it's an excellent throw and catch. Anticipation, again, you got a little basic route or more of a glance route. Here, you got a dig route right behind it. Trinidad needs to manage 2 defenders, this Mike linebacker and then this backside safety. If he waits too long, this backside safety's coming for a kill shot. But he needs to be patient at the same time to throw either before this guy drops into the window or after if he's dropping too aggressive. And as we play this, we will see right here, Trinidad can feel that this window is not open, but this second window is becoming open, again, as long as he manages this safety. And this is where the arm strength, along with the anticipation for Trinidad paired together is excellent, where he throws into that second window. Nice throw, gets your completion. Now we head back to the CFP semifinal. You got Stribling on a vertical route. You got Lee on a little control, and he's working back out. And then they got this tight end, blanking on his name, but he was special. Intrigued to see how Ole Miss replaces him. I think he graduated, or at least moved on. But here he's got a little flood route. Look at how early Trinidad's going to throw this ball before the receiver gets open. I'll pause it right as he pulls the trigger. He's already pulled this trigger, and he is throwing to this receiver here, yet look at the defender with eyes on. More importantly, this corner with eyes on. Still has to manage this corner. If he's late at all, this is incomplete, or even worse, interception, going the other way, backed up in a critical game. Boom, delivers that ball. Excellent throw. This one is one of my favorite because it's an underrated trait for any quarterback, but especially for maybe a guy that's maybe a little bit undersized. And here's what I mean. They got a little slant route here. That's ultimately where the ball's going. You got a dig route on the bottom of the screen. You got a little curl route, and then you got a little arrow route. I want you to pay attention to 2 defenders. This dude who's blitzing and is going to lay an absolute lick on Trinidad Chambliss. And then this linebacker, it looks like he's blitzing, but he's going to drop underneath this slant route. And so Trinidad has to manage 2 guys. This blitzing linebacker, this dropping linebacker. I got to throw behind this guy's head to not allow him to make a play and punish them for defensively for giving this, cute look. Blitz is on. Right now, Trinidad knows he is going to get crushed and killed. Yet you have to hang in the pocket and say, all right, linebacker that you're dropping, I'm going to throw this route right behind your head, get a completion, move the chains, even though I'm going to get absolutely crushed in the backfield. This is big time quarterback play. This is gutsy. That was the note I had in all caps, gutsy. That's big time quarterback play right here. And last but not least, this is a phenomenal throw. I believe this might have been his last completion of the season. This is in 2-minute mode, right? There's like 30 seconds left in the game. They're trying to get themselves in a situation where they can throw a Hail Mary. We can talk about the controversy of whether that was a PI later. But right here, he's going up against a 3-high safety look. This sucks if you're a quarterback because everyone knows you're trying to drive the ball down the field. He does an excellent job of taking his eyes to the left a little bit to try to get this safety to work just a little bit this way, knowing that his go-to possession receiver is Caden Lee. I think it's Caden's his first name, right? Anyways, vertical route. He bends it right around both these defenders. This is not easy. Again, safety here, a nickel right over the top. But look at the anticipation that he throws this with to give your team a chance to have a Hail Mary and potentially win this game. This is a phenomenal throw. Phenomenal throw. Again, the trust in moments when you have to have it for Trinidad to drive the football and how aggressive Kip stays in his play calls. It's a testament to how good Trinidad Chambliss is. Chad Kelly had the most total touchdowns in a single season in Ole Miss history. Jaxson Dart has the all-time Ole Miss record for single season passing yards and single season total offense. Eli Manning has the most career passing touchdowns, but being the best goes beyond the numbers. It's how we all felt watching you. Archie Manning lost that game against Alabama, but it's still the game folks in Oxford talk about 57 years later. Trinidad Chambliss has a shot at that in 2026. A shot at big time legacy, and I can't wait to watch him take it. Thanks for watching this far in the video. Do me a solid and like the video down below and subscribe to the channel. If this is the second video of mine, you've made it all the way through. Come on now, you owe me the subscribe button. If this is the first one, well, hey, I'll see you on the next video, and I still got to earn your trust. Anyways, we're breaking down quarterbacks all off season. Football season is going to be here before we know it. Thanks for hanging out, and hang out on the next frame, which is a video that's recommended just for you. See you next time.